All right, what is going on, guys? So in today's video, I have the Surface Laptop Go, which is kind of a surprise laptop that came out of nowhere by Microsoft. And the configuration that I have with me today is the one with 128 gigabytes of storage, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and there's Go RAM. It's using the 10th gen i5 processor. I believe it's using the G graphics focused processor, but I'm gonna have to double check that. But let's just go ahead and get into the unboxing experience. And I know I love Microsoft products in terms of how they smell, so I cannot wait. And I bought this with my own money. This wasn't provided by Microsoft. They probably still don't know I exist. Why is this harder than usual? It's like stuck. Ooh, it smells like alcohol. It smells like Clorox wipes. This is such a small laptop. Okay, before I take off the plastic, let's see what else is in the box. So I believe this is documentation as usual. Yep. There's a huge aroma of like alcohol. Well, oh God, it's strong. Now that I think about it, it's probably good for, sanitization purposes. So, I mean, good on Microsoft for that, but my God, that is strong. It's like they dumped it in a pool of Clorox. So Microsoft is still using their smart connector, and that's pretty much MagSafe if you are old enough to remember. All right, let's go ahead and open the main attraction here. Should I do some ASMR and not talk? Let's do that. This feels so good. Oh my God. This is the most beautiful Windows computer I've ever held, and it feels so good. The bottom, it's almost like rubberized. Now it doesn't smell like anything. This is the best looking Surface laptop I've ever held. Wow. All right, let's show you guys the ports. I'm sorry, I'm just stunned. So looking at the ports, we have a USB-A port, a USB-C port that I don't believe is Thunderbolt 3, and then we have a headphone jack. And then if we move on to the other side, we have our smart connector by Microsoft on this side. This is such a thin and light computer. I wish I could love it, but I can't. I mean, in terms of design, 100%, but price for what you get out of this laptop, I think it's just not priced very well. So one thing I want you guys to notice is that this does have the fingerprint reader right here. It does light up, so the nice thing about this is it's in a very convenient spot. Although the one thing that I don't like is that if you do get the cheaper model, you won't be able to get this fingerprint. So the one with 4 gigabytes. But I don't feel like a lot of people should be buying this at the 4 gigabyte price point. But let's go ahead and turn the lights back on and let's talk about the laptop in detail. Ooh, the trackpad. I missed Microsoft's trackpad. This
Hi there. I'm
so
Cortana,
good.
and I'm here to help.
I know you're here to help, but
A
I
little
just
sign-
don't need help right now. This, you guys hear this? It's so satisfying. It's so satisfying. And just the finish on this machine, it's clean. It looks premium. I love this thing. So one of the disadvantages of this laptop is, unfortunately, it does not look like you can open it up. So unfortunately, whatever configuration you get is what you're stuck with, but the bottom of this chassis is some type of silicone or rubberized material. It feels really good. I don't hate it. I know they have to, cut corners on a device this cheap, but I would expect as it gets more expensive to that, I believe $8.99 price point, that they should put metal on the bottom, but that's not a deal breaker for me. So first, I'm going to start off with a typing test so you guys can know how the keyboard feels to me, but keyboards are subjective. So let's see how it feels after about 60 seconds. So this keyboard doesn't feel the same as the Surface Laptop 3. I don't know what it is. It feels like there's not as much key travel, and the keys definitely feel cheaper. I mean, they're okay. It's definitely something you're gonna have to get used to, but it definitely feels like a cheaper keyboard than the Surface Laptop 3. All right, so next I'm going to test out the laptop's camera and microphone. You guys can tell me how it sounds. In terms of how it looks, I would say Microsoft overall has better camera quality than most of the competition. I would say this is passable. Obviously, I do have good lighting right now, so if the lights were to, if you're not in good lighting, the laptop's not going to look as good. But I would say overall, the camera quality is a pass for me, but obviously it could be much better. In terms of the microphone, you guys let me know how it sounds. All right, next up, let's see how the speakers sound.
The iPhone 12 launch in particular is making me question Apple on how they perceive their smartphone. Because to me, it seems like a really weird phone, although I do think it brings an amazing offer at the price point, at least here in the US. So,
interesting. So it definitely sounds really crisp in terms of the, if it's like a single person talking. So let me play some music. It's a good test. Let me just do non-copyright music, even though that music is so much. It's just like over the top. All right, so there's absolutely no bass, guys. So if you want a laptop with a bass, steer clear of this laptop. Another thing that I've noticed is that the bezels are curved just a little bit. I'll probably show you guys on the other side, but you can see that it's curved on all four sides, kind of like the MacBook lineup. So that's an interesting move by Microsoft. So now let's talk about the Surface Laptop Go and what I think about it so far. So like I said, Microsoft can nail hardware and smell, but the one thing that's holding this laptop back is the price, in my opinion. It's good, but at starting price at $599 with 4 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigabytes of storage, I just don't think that's enough for this computer. You can get a Chromebook for that price, and obviously with Windows S, you can get more functionality out of it, but Windows on 4 gigabytes I think is just way too small. Now, Windows S is just a version of Windows where you can only install applications through the Microsoft Store, but you can also just switch out of it for free, so I don't think that's that big of an issue. So the other issue I have with this laptop is if you start to spec it up to get what you should be getting out of a laptop, you start to realize that the competition is priced much better than Surface Laptop Go. So the step above this is the $699 version. Also, with the entry-level model, you don't get that fingerprint sensor. So at $699, you get 8 gigabytes of RAM and then 128 gigabytes of storage. But the problem there is that you don't really have that much local storage on your device. So then you decide to spec it up to 256 gigabytes, and then you're sitting at $899. At $899, honestly, I think there's a lot of laptops you can choose over the Surface Laptop Go. In my opinion, I would say, you're almost pretty much at the Surface Laptop 3, and that's a pretty good laptop. You can get Lenovo's, you can get HP, you can even get the ZenBook that I reviewed earlier on this channel. There's just so many more options that give you more value for your money at the price of the Surface Laptop Go. The other thing is, although it is touchscreen, it's nice. It's not 1080p, it's a little bit lower. I don't really notice that big of a difference, but at the price point, you notice the other competition has higher resolutions. So the price point for the Surface Laptop Go is really making it hard for me to recommend to people, although I do think it's a good laptop overall. The price is just not at the right price point. It's just a little bit disappointing. It's almost like the smartphone category where the company makes a super nice premium device and then they just start stripping away features to make another product to make their premium one seem even better. So like the Surface Laptop 3, I would say is the premium version of this. And this laptop just makes the Surface Laptop 3 seem like a better computer overall. The nice thing about this is that it's smaller, thinner, and lighter than the Surface Laptop 3, but I mean, I'm just beating a dead horse at this point. At the price point to get what you want out of a laptop, you should just look elsewhere. But that's just my first impressions, initial thoughts on it. Another thing I will say is, what was I gonna say? Let me think for a second. What was I gonna say? I remember. Okay, here's what I was gonna say. So this laptop to me kind of feels like Microsoft is really trying to leverage people to use OneDrive, and I'm not against that, but I feel like the more local storage, the better, because if you don't have an internet connection and you need to download something from what you saved online, that is a very annoying hiccup. Now, obviously, if you have internet all the time, that's not going to be an issue, but local storage, I think, will always trump cloud storage. So that's one of the big things I feel like this laptop is good for. If you just need something that is good at typing, you don't really need a lot of local storage, then I guess this laptop is okay, although you could probably get away with a Chromebook. There's just so many alternatives to this laptop. Microsoft, it's a great looking machine, but the specs need to be bumped up. So if you do decide to make a Surface Laptop Go 2, I think that would be nice, but I think you just have to reconsider the specs that you put inside the machine. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this unboxing experience, what I thought about the Surface Laptop Go. Please let me know if you have your own thoughts on it. But as always, guys, if you did enjoy the video, please make sure to subscribe, leave a like if you did, share with your friends, and as always, guys, much love. This is the second Microsoft product on this channel that was very close to being good, but there's just something off that keeps me from loving it. It's beautiful. It is beautiful, but it's just not it. Sorry.